Um, I appreciate the work that they've done to go back and find some money to put in it and soften the blow a little bit. But a couple of points, I would really like them to look at expansion and what that would look like of their current facility. I've looked at that lot. I know there's concern about losing all of their parking, but there's about 40 parking spots behind it. And a 5,000 square foot addition off of the back of that looks like they would lose about 14 of those. I know they've got some CAD vehicles that they have to keep there, plus employees. Jason, do you know how many employees they have?
I do not, sir. There may be somebody in attendance that can answer that question.
Not sure. But it looks on the surface like that might be feasible, and I would like to see what that would look like. And then one other point with, Governor Abbott's efforts this next session, one of those items is moving to 5-year appraisals. If that happens, I would assume their workload would probably decrease by 70–80% on the annual appraisals, which may make their need. I know that was one of the things, was the need for more appraisers and that sort of stuff. So that may change the need a little bit. There's no way to know that till we get to the legislation, to the next session. So, but it seems feasible that Governor Abbott's been pretty successful in a lot of things that he's wanted to get done, and that's probably a pretty easy one to get passed, so.
Mr. Mayor, if I might, can you explain why I made the motion? One, if you look down through the list and the proposed budget for the appraisal district, the cost, in effect, to city of Stephenville is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of about $27,000 to $30,000 budget-wise, according to their budget, from 26 to 27, and everything. That's the cost of the building. It's not the cost of additional employees. And we all know that when we're looking at things like this, it's the cost of the operations and the employees that cost you over the long run the most. When you also look, there are 18 taxing entities involved in this. They all receive their money, except for the school districts. The cities, the school districts receive part of their money from the state, but whichever way you want to run it, it's always tax dollars from the citizens, which is pretty significant. I just felt like, looking at this, a little bit like Ricky, I think, who said before that that perhaps they didn't look at everything before bringing this to. That is always, I know I have found in work that I've done in years past, you get excited about something, an opportunity comes up and whatnot, and you step back and you say, well, can we do this, or should we take the long stand and go through a much longer process and look at a lot of different avenues rather than one. And I felt like that just didn't happen in our visits with the executive director of the appraisal district. And now it may have happened, that's fine, but that's not the sense that I got. And, and frankly, I thought it was a lot of building for what the need actually is. And I that's why I made this motion and why I would stand behind it.
Martin, did you want something?
Yeah, so, Ricky, I appreciate talk about, what may or may not happen with property taxes in the future. I think my concern here is that the city of Stephenville has been backed into a corner before and given no option out. This is what it costs, this is what you have to pay, and you have to do it now. And my fear is that This is something that I assume is going to happen at some point. They're gonna come asking for something again. And my fear is simply that it would escalate, the cost would go up, and if it gets to that point where we're backed in a corner, there's not gonna be any option. So to me, I mean, I think he gave us some numbers on, you know, potentially building new. It was significantly more than what this is, and so that would be my concern, is that they're gonna come again, and I just don't want us to be backed into a corner with no options.
Alan, I know you want to.
Yes, sir. I think Jonathan did an excellent job, to me, justifying what he's asking for. And he did explore expansion of that building. Because of the size, the complexity, it'll have to be engineered, which is gonna be an expense. The cost per square footage to expand that building is gonna make it probably close to the same price as the other building is. And I'm conservatively guessing 3 years by the time they can move into that. 3 years is a long time when he's telling us he's out of space now. I also echo what Mark said. If he doesn't have that building purchased now, by the time he gets the expansion done on the other one, it may not be large enough, and he's gonna lose parking spaces, which they have to have vehicles. The personnel issue, I think he's taken into account, and he showed that in his budget, I believe. I think he did all we asked him to in justifying the purchase that he wanted to make, the reasons for it, the growth of the county, the growth of the population, the growth of the number of parcels that he's dealing with. I don't know what Abbott's gonna do. I don't think anybody can take that rabbit and pull it out of a hat yet and see what he's gonna get done. Even if he does that, I don't see how that's gonna help much, because you can't, we can't put values on new properties like they're doing around here every 5 years, because you'd have property that had no value for maybe 3 or 4 years. So you have to have somebody on the job that can go out there every year and look at these new parcels that have been divided, subdivided, and improved. And even if he comes with that, it might help years down the road, but it's not gonna help the way we're growing right now. I just think that he did a good job justifying what he asked for, and I think it's probably needed, and I think it will be cheaper now than it will be to do later. I'm reminded of the commercial where the guy's working on your car and he says, you can pay me now or you can pay me later. Well, and I think this building is an adequate building for probably the next decades, and it's well priced, and I think it will be something that they can use for many years to come yet. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'll come behind you on that too, Alan. That I think Mark brought this up. It's a building that, my understanding is they can move in immediately and there's not any renovation in the building. So there's not gonna be any expense to the building. The building's ready to go.
Mhm.
And there's no added expense on that part of it. So I think that was brought up there when they talked about that. It's an adequate building for no renovation, and it's an adequate building for expansion of possible employees in the future.
And I forgot that the sale of the existing building will help offset the price of that some. And when you add on to that building, I'm not sure you're gonna add much to the value of it, the existing building.
Anyone else would like to speak? Any
Well,
discussion? Yeah?
I would guess that there, and like you said, somebody else in the room might be able to give an exact number, but I bet there's at least 20, over 20 employees that are there now. Plus, I don't know how many vehicles that they have to be parked there. I don't know if 30 spots would be enough for that. That doesn't make it where it overflows into other businesses or the storage units or whatever. I personally wouldn't think it would be very hard to add on to that building, just because there is that space back there, but the building itself is, I don't know how many years old, and like Alan said, it's gonna take engineering, it's gonna take a lot. I agree, I think it'll probably, if it doesn't exceed what they could get the new building for, it's gonna come really close to the price of what they could get the new building for. And right now, I agree with what you said, Gerald, that is a lot of building. But 10 years from now, we don't know what Stephenville's gonna look like. We, sitting here, know things that are in the pipeline coming that would make a huge difference on what they are going to have to do. And like Jonathan said, there's a lot of stuff that they're having to do by drone because they just don't have the manpower to get to. So even if Abbott does get his 5-year plan, I would be willing to bet they're probably 3 years at least behind on laying eyes, physically laying eyes on properties that they haven't had to drone check them. So I don't know. I hate to take money away from all of us and school districts and everything else. But if you look at what that building is gonna be worth in 3 years, I don't think he's gonna get any better deal than what he has now. So, but isn't it, let me make sure I'm understanding what Jonathan said to us that night. It's all or nothing. All 18 of us have to agree, correct?
No.
Okay, okay, then I,
I think there has to be 4 that oppose, is that right? 4.
I think that's what he said.
I think that's what he said, that 4 has to oppose.
and are we privy to if anybody has opposed?
4 in the vote.
Yes,
Oh.
we sent y'all.
I'm sorry,
From earlier this week.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Stephenville School District, Erath
Yeah.
County, and the city of Dublin.
Okay,
And did Dublin ISD opposed to?
I didn't receive anything from them. I don't know if they
okay. I
have
forgot
any or
about that,
not.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Any more discussion?
Well,
Mayor, I'd like to call for a roll call vote.
Yes, sir. So again, we have a motion and a second for disapproving the Erath County Appraisal District's proposed purchase and acquisition of real property pursuant to Texas Code 6051. So roll call vote, either for disapproval or no. Place 1, Leanne?
I'm sorry, now I have to think of if I yay or nay on if
Go
I'm
ahead, go ahead.
disapproving or approving.
The motion on the floor is to disapprove
Is
of
to
the
go,
purchase.
is to not let them do
Right.
it.
yes.
Okay, then, nay.
Okay, a no. Gerald?
I'm for disapproving.
So it'll be a yes.
Nay.
Mark, a no. Dean?
No.
Maddie?
Yes.
Ricky?
Yeah.
Nick? Aye. Yes. Alan?
No.
What's that vote? I'll vote no.
So at this point, we need a motion to approve.
If that is your wish.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the resolution to approve the ECAD's proposed purchase and acquisition of real property pursuant to Texas Code 6.051.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Discussion. Leanne?
Yes.
Gerald?
Nay.
Aye.
Mark? Aye. Dean?
Yes.
Maddie, no. Ricky?
No.
Nick?
No.
Alan?
Yes.
4 to 4. And I will vote yes. So, my understanding, there's no need to go to number 2?
I think at this point, it would at least be worthy of discussion. Item 2 is their proposed budget. The council would only take action to disapprove of the budget. You don't have to take action to approve that.
You want me to read it?
I'll leave this one up to y'all since
So,
we're kind of split.
I will go ahead to, number 2 is consider the approval, the resolution approving or disapproving the Erath County Appraisal District proposed adopted budget pursuant to Texas Code 6.06B and authorizing filing of the resolution with the Secretary of Erath County Appraisal District Board of Directors. So, we approved above. Do we need a motion to approve
No.
that? We don't need to. We've already done it.
On the budget, it only requires a disapproval if that is the council's choice.
Okay.
So, just for clarity, if enough entities disapprove of this, they're gonna have to rework their budget and bring it back
So there's
anyways?
two, as I understand it, there are two different standards on that the threshold for disapproving of the building is a certain amount of entities, the threshold for disapproving the budget is another amount of entities. And there, I understand it to be a different number, and I don't know what those are necessarily, I know Mr. Pringle does.
So,
That's entirely up to you.
is there any other discussion at all? If not, I will adjourn tonight. Okay, it is 5:49, and I will adjourn the special city council meeting.